Hi friends, automated ERP using Google Sheets. Maybe we have come across this on YouTube and other platforms. I am making an attempt to put together and make use of the apps available in Google Suite like Google Forms, Google Sheets, Google Slides, and so on and so forth, and come out with an automated ERP. First of all, we need to understand that Google Suite is an inclusive app in which, along with your Gmail, you get apps which are developed by Google. And I'm going to present to you a simple method to make use of this Google Suite to create an ERP system for a project which I'm working on. We will be learning about data collection, data distribution, data analysis, data approval system, dashboards, and also dynamic dashboards. Well, our sessions will include both presentation as well as practical application of the presentation. First of all, let us understand data collection. How do we collect data? Well, we can write it down. In some cases, there are ERP systems where we can type or data entry. Similarly, data entry can be done in Google Forms as well. So we will need to create a Google form with basic details, and that needs to be captured, for which we will need, of course, Google Form. In the next few slides, we will see how to open a Google form and create questionnaire. Opening a Google form. As you can see, when you open Google Chrome, first you will see the doodle. But along with your email or Gmail, I said that you are given certain apps by Google. And you can find that where there are 9 dots. If you click on the icon with 9 dots and scroll down a bit, you will find an app called Forms. As you can see here, these are the 9 dots here. And then you scroll down using the scroll bar and you get the forms. And when you click on those forms, it opens a new page, something like this, where you will have all the forms and its templates, and if there are forms which you have already created. If you are an individual, you may not have any recent forms, but if you are working for an organization, you might have already forms that are shared with you by other colleagues. Now here you need to click on the icon with the plus mark. It will open new untitled form. Now let us put this into practice. So as I said, here you have the Google Chrome first page, opening page, where you have the doodle. And these are the icons here. And out of those icons, I scroll down, as I said, and select forms. And when I click on that, the page opens to start a new form where you have a blank form and other templates like customer feedback, event feedback. You can take one of these templates as well to learn more about forms. We go back to our presentation. So once the Google form is opened, it will show you an untitled form which has no title at all, and it will be blank. So to name or to baptize your form, you need to click on the untitled form name. It is here. And then you have something called as form description. You need to name the form. Once you have named it, you need to describe for what you are creating this form. Once you have done that, you can start creating the questionnaire, the data that you want to collect. We'll go back to the form and try to name our form. So I click on this icon. So as I showed you there, it has come to the page of Untitled Form. So I click on Untitled Form and name it Mobilization Form 1. If I click it outside, the same name will appear near the form description. So we'll describe this form to collect basic student data during mobilization. Now, mobilization could be for various reasons, maybe for training, maybe for placement, maybe for government jobs, or UNDP collects forms for various reasons. So any of the reasons. So now you can read here, this form is automatically collecting email addresses. So what happens is anybody who once the form is complete, and when you're sharing it to the people who have to fill this form, so it will collect their email addresses automatically. You can change the settings as well, but we will not go into it right now. We will go to what is presented. So you have untitled question here below. We go back to our presentation. So now we start validating the data. We start creating the questionnaire to collect the data. So how does it happen? You click on that untitled question, and then slowly you can type what you want to collect there. In this case, we will write maybe the mobilizer name, then we write the student name, maybe student's father's name, and the mobile number of the candidate whom you are writing about, which state he comes from, which district he comes from, what is the course that he wants to study. So all that we will capture in this basic mobilization form. So here, when you create the question, on the right hand side, you have to select what is the type of answer that you need, whether it is a short answer, a paragraph, multiple choice, checkbox, drop down, whether somebody has to upload a file, or multiple choice with grid, whether it is a date or time. So you have these options to validate your answer, the answer that you have to receive from the respondent. So in this case, you need to click on short answer. So now we go back to the form and start writing the questions. Here we have mobilizer name. By default, at times it understands. Google is an artificial intelligence, so it understands what is the type of answer you need. If it doesn't come, then you go to that drop down and select what is the type of answer that you need. In this case, it is short answer, so we keep it as it is, and the answer has to be written here in the form, which we will show once we have completed the questionnaire. Now to add another question, you have a plus sign. If you click on that, you can add another question. So here we will need the candidate who is being mobilized. So candidate's name. Again, by default, it is selecting short answer, so we don't have to do anything. The next question will be father's name. Again, it has selected short answer. Fine. Then we go to create the mobile number. We go back to our presentation. When you want to collect mobile number, you need to be a little careful. Select response validation from 3 dots icon. Select between from the drop down that is in the middle. And after selecting between, write the numbers 6 and 9 zeros and 10 times 9. It will be something like this. So you have selected the short answer for mobile number. Then what will happen is you will have the three dots at the extreme right end of that question. If you click on those right three dots, you will have a pop-up with description and response validation. If you click on response validation, you will have number, and in between you have is number. Now if you click on that is number, what will happen is you will have a pop-up with multiple options where you have to click between, and when you click between, you will have another pop-up with the number, from, and to. So this is the flow: first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. We go back to the form. So you have written the mobile number here. So by default, I have not done anything here. It has created on its own the response validation. So you have is number here as I indicated earlier. So you have the drop down there. Click on the drop down and select between and type on the first empty space 6 and 9 times 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the ending number should be 10 times 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Why we have done this is because the place where I'm coming from India, we have mobile numbers ranging from starting from 6, and the last will be 10 times 9. You don't have a mobile number beyond that, and you don't have a number lesser than 6 and 9 times 0. So we have validated the mobile number. We go back to the presentation. Sometimes you will have multiple choice and going to a section based on an answer. So for that, you need to select some multiple drop downs and create multiple sections. So here you have created a response or a question query of a state of that candidate. So mobilization can happen any part of the country that you are in, and it will have multiple regions, multiple states. So all of that has to be written here. And for that, you need to select the option drop down from the drop down that is there. So multiple times drop down, it is coming. So I will practically show you when I'm creating the form. And once you create that, you can name the state names. For example, in India, you have Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Delhi. So all those state names will come here. And similarly, to create the next section, you need to click on the stacked triangle among the options that are there on the right hand side. So the option and the flow will be, first you click on the drop down, second you click on the stacked rectangle, then you have created and named it, and the naming should be as the state name that you have given in your response. So we go back to the form and try to do this practically. So first what I will do is I'll create the question of state. In this case, it has come by default short answer, but it is not the short answer. We have to have an option of drop down for the respondents to select which state. So here we will put multiple states, as I said, Karnataka, or since we are from different places who are viewing this video, we will just say A, and then second will be B, third will be C, fourth will be D. So you can write 10, 20, 30 multiple options here. Then, as I said, we need to create sections based on the states that you have written here. So you have this icon here with stacked rectangles. Click on that. So a new section will be opened. There you write the first state A. Again, you click on that rectangle. Another section will be opened. You write B. Then again, you click on that. You have C. Again, you click on the rectangle, you have DDDD. Since we have created only 4 states here, so we have 4 regions created here. And each of these regions will have to create a question. So go back to the first region that you have created and click add question and write the question as again AAAA. I'm writing this again because you might have to create the course that has to be selected. You can have centers in that. In the project that I am in each of the states, we have districts. And each of these districts, we will be having a training center or an office or a location where we gather people. So anything, something like that. So here I create an option of center one or maybe center A and center B. Similarly, for the next state, I will create a question by writing the same state that is BBBB. And again, in the options, multiple choice, I will write center 1. There I wrote center A, but here the district could be different. So center 1 and center 2. Similarly, for the next option, CCC, I create a question by CCCC, and then I write just A and B, or there could be a C also, we never know. And then finally, we have the fourth state wherein we create one more question, and there we add D, 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 and you have maybe 1, 2. I have used different options here for different states because we don't have the same name everywhere. I can't write center 1, center 1, center 1 everywhere. So here I'm giving different options so that when you collect the data, it could be of a variety of answers that you get. Because we need to later analyze and manipulate this data to arrive at dashboards and dynamic dashboards at the end of further sessions. So this is how we have created various sections. Now we go back to our presentation. So once we have created this, what we have next is how do we, suppose somebody selects the answer AAA. Based on this answer, immediately the form should take you to AAAA section. How do we do that? Because we don't want the respondents to get confused if it goes to B state after that or C state. We need to be very careful of selecting this. So again, you have 3 dots at the end of that state question. And if you click on that, again, you will have the option of selecting from multiple choice. There will be a drop down. For first option, select go to section 1, section 2. And for second option, go to section 3. Similarly, you can have multiple sections and their corresponding answers. We go back to the form. So we go to the place where we have written the states. So as I said, there are the 3 dots. If I click on that, go to section based on answer. As soon as you click that, against each of the options, you will have this continue to next section. But we are not supposed to continue to the next section. Rather, select from drop down the corresponding answer that you get here. That is, go to section 2 with AAA. For the second option, go to section 3 with BBBB. For the third option, go to section CCCC. And finally, for the fourth state, you have DDDD. So what happens is when you create this form and send it to the respondents, whenever they select AAAA, it will take them to the AAAA section. We go back to the presentation. One more thing you need to remember when you create the forms is to make each of these questions mandatory, or else there is every chance that the people who are responding may skip one of the questions and go further, and you might miss some of the answers. when you're having 20, 30, 40 questions. So what you are supposed to do? So you have an option of required where it is unchecked. You need to check it and the color has to change as it is given in this figure. So we go back to the form. We go back to each of the questions from the beginning. First is the mobilizer name. Here you have the required. I'll check it. The color has changed. We go to the next question. Again, I make it required, make it mandatory. Here also I make it mandatory. The mobile number also is mandatory. The state also is mandatory. So each of the questions you need to just select and keep it as it is so that no question goes unanswered. So this is how simple it is. You can go back to the video, go back to the presentation, and just see how you need to create each of these steps. So finally, submitting the form. Once you have decided, okay, this will be the last section or the last question that the respondent has to answer, you need to be very careful. You will find an option of continue to the next section, but you need to be very careful to submit the form. So here after AAAA, you have continue to next section, but no, you are not continuing to the next section, which is BBBB. Suppose your respondent has selected AAAA and then the center in it, then what they have to do is they have to finally submit the form, because you don't have any more questions once they have selected the state, they have selected the center, unless you have created in the center further courses or any other options, for which you need to again create more sections. So in this case, I'm not going to continue. You can always send an email to me to the email ID I have given at the end of the session. So here again, you will have these options: continue to next section, continue to section A, BBBB, on all those options, but you need to select only submit the form. And we go back to the form and see how it is done practically. So under AAAA, it is continue to next section. We don't want to continue to next section once you have selected this, but select the submit form. So even for BBBB, I have to do the same. If they have selected BBB as the answer, and then this they have to submit the form. For CCC as well, they have to submit the form. Only for DDD, that option is not there, because by default that is the final question, so there is no further sections to be answered. So finally, we come to submitting the form, and the response will go to the place where it has to go, and that we will be seeing in the next session. So this is how it is. So dear friends, thank you very much for listening to me. You can always write back to me on erpwithdeepak@gmail.com. This is the first session I've started. We will have many more sessions and come to a conclusion on how to create a complete ERP system. Thank you very much.